true classic never goes out of style. Here's a quote from the movie. Welcome to ChuckyWatch episode 4, ladies and gentlemen. If you've not seen the previous 3 episodes, hurry yourself up. They're probably over there in a thing, aren't they? Over that way, over here. I don't know. I don't know what geography is. Who are we?
Can't find them!
Well, I'm Chris, and I'm doing these videos here on my channel and over on the Big Damn channel, so do check them out. I'm joined for this edition by the lovely Matthew Watson, who's here to talk to me about Bride of Chucky, which is convenient because he's basically my bride. I haven't told him.
That explains a lot, actually.
So, I have a bone to pick with you, even though it's not your fault.
Okay.
This is the movie that gave me my fear of dolls and mannequins as a kid. But it wasn't watching the movie. It was seeing the movie on the shelves of Blockbuster. The very same one Matt ended up working in years later. So, inadvertently, it's your fault retroactively.
Oh, not that long later, because this was, what, early 2000s?
99, I think, was when I saw The Wall. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if the horror display sort of was in that area. But it was definitely when this first came out on VHS and DVD, because there was a wall of the 2-shot of Chucky and Tiffany. And that did it. Like, that did it for me. I was terrified of dolls.
For some reason...
I already hated mannequins, and then just did it for dolls.
For some reason, I always associated this movie with the sort of early 2000s nu metal scene. I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. The soundtrack to this movie is just full of basically, like sort of grungy, like, nu metal kind of... Do you know what I mean? It's, oh god, like Monster Magnet are on the soundtrack. Rob Zombie, of course, Living Dead Girl was the opening track of this movie, and like it's full of them. There's just lots of dirty, like, sort of rock songs in this.
It's a dirty movie.
It is, and
not like in a sexy way. It's just dirty. Well,
maybe,
a little bit.
Maybe the first 15 minutes.
But like, it is a dirty movie.
So Chucky's been away in the public consciousness for a bit now. He'd been away for 7 years.
Yeah. Well, because what we didn't touch on the Child's Play 3 video is there was that sort of moral panic over Child's Play 3 because it was linked to a pretty horrific murder case in the UK. Yeah, it was several videos were rented by 2 young lads who did some pretty horrible things. And Child's Play 3 was in that pile. However,
so
it was later established they hadn't actually seen it.
Yeah, so... But it did unfortunately affect, not necessarily that film outright, but certainly Universal's choice to focus on movies like Chucky franchise and other horror flicks and things like that. They held back. Don Mancini had a great idea, though. He was like, if you're going to carry on this story, you don't just keep doing it. Like, Freddy's wrapped up now. Freddy's dead. Like, you know, the final Friday.
Well,
like, everything. Jason's, like, called it a day. Like,
oh, that didn't work.
You need to... Well, no. You need to... If you're going to do it, you need to give the franchise a fresh bit of paint. And what better way to do it than to look at the original blueprint? You go back to the Universal monster movies of the 1930s and the 1940s, and you say, right, so we've told the story of Frankenstein.
Yes. Where
do we go next? So we've got Bride of Chucky, which directly references Bride of Frankenstein a couple times as well. Yeah, down to the We Belong Dead. It's like one of Tiffany's last words.
Do they show a clip or still?
She's watching it in the bath.
Yeah.
When she's killed. Yeah. And she's weeping at it. Yeah. Oh man.
Can't wait for the Dark Universe reboot of Bride of Frankenstein.
R.I.P. Dark Universe.
Couldn't make it all the way through that sentence.
Now you're probably thinking Child's Play films. They are horror. They are, you know, like sort of slightly cheesy, a little bit kitsch, but they're horror.
Particularly with 3, took that dive into goofiness.
This is the first film that goes, do you know what? We're going to put comedy in the genre as well. Like, we're just going to flat out be a horror comedy film.
And it sings for it.
Yeah.
It sings for it.
There is a fresh life in the franchise at this point that is very different. It's a different animal than it was before. But, like, it's basically it's a new soul in the same good guy body.
Yeah.
Literally the same good guy body, because Tiffany stitches together the evidence remains of Chucky from the end of Child's Play 3.
You get this beautiful visage.
Which is how Chucky's known to most people.
Well, yeah, because this movie, like I say, Child's Play 3 kind of disappeared, and certainly for our generation, Bride of Chucky's release and the re-emergence of the character, and Tiff as well.
Yeah, well, Tiffany's a big part of this film's success.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just dive straight in, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jennifer Tilly's contribution to this movie and the franchise as a whole.
Jennifer Tilly's wonderful.
Jennifer Tilly is great. She's so batty. Like, she's so batty in general. You see her in interviews, she's just like, she's popping, she's nuts and so funny.
Popping and looking and rocking with the side of hip hop.
Yes!
She's a renegade of funk.
Okay, fair enough. It was worth it for the payoff. As it was with this, it was worth casting Jennifer Tilly because they wanted somebody who could carry the seriousness of the, like, actually sell this bullshit voodoo story about killer dolls.
Because she is a great actress.
Yeah, she's a fantastic actress, but she has that wicked sense of humour and that slightly sort of, nutball, like, goofy edge to her own jokes and everything. So it helped on camera because you fully believed that this gothy nutcase was willing to bring Charles Lee Ray back to life.
Oh, yeah.
And then it worked beautifully in the voice booth because, I mean, if anyone was ever going to sound like a doll, it's Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, because
she's one of the most unique voices. She's
famous for that sort of breathy, high, delicate voice, but it's got that sense of mischief to it.
Yeah, which works perfectly for a diminutive little possessed
because
dolly.
They transfer her likeness into a doll form, and it sort of preserves that mischievous. It's on the eyebrows and the cheeks. She's just got a sort of sense of mischief to her, which they obviously play up when they turn her into a doll.
Yes. I love the idea that Chucky's like there's obviously something still in the body. Tiffany was the Tiffany Valentine, I believe her surname is. I can't remember if they say in the original, but it's in like the credits for Cult. They've been referring to her as Tiffany Valentine.
Yeah.
But even though she's Jennifer Tilly, we'll get to that next time. Like Tiffany was the girlfriend of Charles Lee Ray. We don't know if at the time of his death, but definitely they liked to basically shag and kill people.
I think it's implied certainly by Cult of Chucky that she was one.
And Curse, the flashbacks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Curse.
The flashback in Curse, yeah.
And we have too.
As of this recording. But we will have seen it by the time this goes up. So no spoilers, please. Yet! But yeah, like, she was definitely she was his Bonnie to his Clyde.
Did she lie over the ocean?
She'd lie over everything. Does
she lie over the sea?
She's a sexpert in this movie. Cover thine delicate ears if you're easily offended by people finding other people attractive, but Jesus Christ, she is absolutely smoking in this film.
Jennifer Tilly is smoking.
Jennifer Tilly is a beautiful person, but just there's something about she embraces the gothy look.
Yeah.
And that slightly glamorous but dirty design. Like she's in my teens I had a bit of a thing for goths, and I think it was down to this.
It was part of the scene back then as well, wasn't it? It was like, I think that's why I associate this
confessing that
this movie coming out at the time it did, and also the music scene at the time it was, particularly in the sort of rock and metal genres. Yeah, just sort of it's just an overlap there, which did it for me.
Yeah. Hi Jennifer, if you're watching, you're probably not, but if you are, apologies for being gross.
Yeah.
But years, you completely buy that she will happily spend her days with a living doll when she brings him back to life. Like, she's like, yeah, I found the ring you left me. And he's like, wait, what? And it turns out, no, it was nothing to do. It was, what's the name of the person he murdered? I think it's Vivian Van Pelt. Like, he killed someone and took their ring. There's some great names in this franchise. Like, he took the ring and basically, like, he was going to pawn it or whatever. Yeah. And she thought he was going to propose, so she locks him up in the cot and won't let him go, and buys him a bride just to take the piss. And this was part of my fear growing up of dolls at that time, because my cousin Emily, bless her, had this doll about this big. maybe bigger. It was sort of, you know, relatively in scale for a 6-7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That looked like, it wasn't in a bridal gown, but it looked like the pre-makeover Tiffany, like the bride doll. And you plugged it, had like a little Walkman in its hand, and you plugged these little fake cassettes in, and it told a story. And its eyes blinked, and its mouth moved. And I was just recovering from that Blockbuster video wall with these guys on. Yeah, so that didn't help. So that when I was ever see that doll, I think about having to stay at my auntie and uncle's and asking to stay in my younger cousin's room instead of her room, because I was like, I don't want to look at that doll. I don't want it looking at me. I think I turned it around once just to avoid it. I mean, now I've got these in the house, so...
And then when you woke up in the middle of the night, it was turned back round! Ooh!
Ooh, then it told me a story about 3 bears. So, yeah. I love the fact that she goes all the way to buying this doll just to take the piss out of him.
She's vengeful.
Yeah. And then so is he. Because he scratches open the cot with the ring, like he whittles away on the bars, and then he goes out, he drags that doll, he knows what he's doing, he drags that doll. There's that great shot of the shower curtain, she's watching Bride Frankenstein on the TV in the bath. Smart decision.
Sure.
And there's like shower curtain walls at the end of a trailer, the ones that like the opaque squares, and you just see it, and his face just presses against it. You've got the the dark bit around his eye and everything. It all just stands out in this thing. It looks so cool. Pushes the TV in, electrocutes her to death, and then transfers her soul as she's lying there nearly dead into the doll, just so he could be like, now you understand! Now you get it! Right, we're going to work together to get my body out of its coffin in Hackensack, New Jersey, because even though he died in Chicago and was a criminal, they buried him in his hometown. And we're going to get the heart of Damballa, an amulet he was definitely wearing on the night he was
definitely
killed,
wearing this in the first film.
and hasn't been photoshopped into that newspaper article photo.
Absolutely, definitely wearing
it. But this film introduces the idea of it doesn't have to be about who knows his secret. It's whoever. Well, I guess that still applies, but it's an old body. So unless he's going to find Tyler, nothing's going to change.
We changed the rules, so now the rules are different.
Yeah, Chucky and Tiffany need the heart of Damballa, and they can transfer their souls into anyone. Enter newlyweds halfway through the movie, Jesse and Jade. I can't remember who plays Jesse, but Jade is played by Katherine Heigl. Before she was notoriously a difficult person to work with. I don't know if any stories have ever come out about this movie, but yeah, that's sort of point there. She's one of those movies she apparently sort of not denies working on, but never refers to it.
She's too good for this.
Yeah, it's like no. Which is a shame because she's great in this. Like that couple and their friend are a really fun part of this movie. The idea that it's they're getting blamed for these murders, like they're suspect number 1.
Yeah.
So they're on the run, not realising the dolls that they're delivering for Jesse's neighbour Tiffany are Tiffany and Charles Lee Ray. You've got John Ritter as what's it?
Love John Ritter.
Chief Kincaid, like her uncle, who's great in this. Apparently a part was written for him in number 3, but they had to cut it.
Yeah.
And so we've got a flash in. I just want to double check that we're not going over time. What? Saying we're running out of memory card space, we've got 3 minutes to talk.
Okay.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to have to do an edit, which will be completely seamless. Funny story. I'm glad we told that on camera.
Yeah, that's great.
So John Ritter,
Ritter
as Kincaid in this is pretty damn great. He's proper nasty, bitey. Don Mancini wrote a part from number 3, which was cut.
Yeah.
So he was included in this one. He gave him a really nice, nasty character. Then he's got his I can't remember what the character's name is, but he's got his deputy who's sort of like for extra pay is keeping an eye on Jesse and Jade. They call him Needle Nose. You got the goth guy at the beginning who's like trying to impress Tiffany and obviously doesn't kill the person in his life. She's not fussed because they don't shy away from the fact she's just a psycho.
Oh yeah.
Like she kills people, like not necessarily all the time. Like she sort of does it if she feels they deserve it. She like justifies it to herself.
But she's not afraid to get a little murdery.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, a little stab happy. She's got a tarantula, which is probably going to starve to death because they left it in the trailer.
Oh, tarantula.
What
get out and forage.
Oh god.
There'll be another hack slash crossover.
About the tarantula, about Tiffany's tarantula. Yeah. Charlotte. Let's talk deaths. This movie, I think, has the highest body count of a Chucky film. Or at least the most consistent. Like, the deaths don't stop. Damien gets killed at the beginning when Chucky rips his lip ring out and then chokes him with a pillow by putting it over his face and sitting on it. Which is great. And then later on, Tiffany, when she's crying, she's curled up next to the dead body, cuddling a pillow. Oh, God. Kincaid gets murdered with all the pins on the thing, fire out and stab him in the head.
Just fabulous.
Which is horrible. It's obviously meant to be like a Pinhead homage in a way.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up later, like he's alive still somehow. And he's screaming and he falls over and you see him like in his face further, and then Chucky just stabs him to death. You've got Needle Nose gets blown up in his car. And that stoner randomly sees Chucky, and Chucky flips from the bird and she goes, "Rude fucking dog." What is this? That's pretty great. Then,
this movie's funny.
So stupid.
Basically.
When their friend, who's like just the well-meaning guy, gets smashed by a lorry on the highway and turned into pulp.
Yeah.
You've got the couple at the wedding place at the honeymoon suite who are trying to rob them. And Tiffany sees it, so that she goes in, throws the champagne bottle into the mirrored ceiling, and it stabs them. This is the start of the sort of visually... Maybe this is the wrong word. The visually beautiful death sequences in these movies. This is the movie where they start making the death sequences look very big, and you know, what I mean, it's less stabbings and throat slittings. They're less common from this point.
Yeah, it's more elaborate.
Yeah, and we're not talking Final Destination, but. No. Certainly, like, they want you to see the death scene and remember it.
Yeah.
So, nails in the face, you definitely remember that. Like, you don't so much remember Officer Bailey getting his throat cut at the beginning as much as you do the glass ceiling, the mirrored ceiling where Tiffany throws the champagne bottle up, it shatters, it impales the couple, but you don't see it hitting them, you see the explosion of the waterbed.
Yeah.
And there's just this burst of water, and amongst it is just these red gushes in the water. It's brilliant, and then... doll sex. Look at me! I'm made of rubber! That was improv. Brad Dourif loved working on this movie because suddenly he had someone else in the voice booth with him, and he and Jennifer Tilly would improvise. And apparently, the "Do you have a rubber? I'm all rubber" was a made-up line on the spot. By Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif reacting to it. And it's the best line in the movie. So good, just like right. Here's the thing. So I'm not the brightest nut in the shed hole, but I sort of like when it came to exams in GCSE level and then AS level, I figured out that there was sort of a formula to exams, where you had to just hit 3 or 4 specific beats, and then you could say whatever else you wanted, but as long as you hit those beats, you were guaranteed to get like 80%, 90%. Which didn't mean I slacked off, but I had an instinct for it.
Yeah.
And when I did my AS film studies, we had to do our first piece on like mise en scène, and we had to pick a scene from a movie to discuss certain things. And I figured out, I need to hit that, and that in whatever the context of the film is. So everyone was picking these big artistic pieces, or either famous movies like the end of freaking Citizen Kane, or like we'd studied 28 Days Later briefly. So they were using the opening of 28 Days Later with the Empty London, things like this.
It was filmed at 3 in the morning and they played Godspeed You Black Emperor on the soundtrack. Oh, isn't it clever?
I mean, it's quite good. But
yeah, I know, but it's like, how much some of these media folks just sort of ladder themselves up into a frenzy over just things that are quite smart.
But ahead of the task, the tutor asked us to submit what film we were thinking of doing. Now, here's the thing. When I said I figured out the formula, I don't mean like I'm very clever kind of way. Like, I'd figured out what needs to be hit. So I was like, oh, cool, I can have fun with this. I can pick something that they're not going to expect. Same reason like when you're auditioning for stuff. If you pick a monologue that is less likely to be picked by anyone else, you're going to stick in the mind of the auditioner because you've either made them chuckle or you've surprised them.
Or you stuck it in their ear.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh my god, a giant butterfly just flew at the window to say hello.
Hello.
It's the spirit of Charles Lee Ray! Sorry, I wouldn't have pointed it out, but it is about the size of a coaster.
And also it's the middle of October.
Yeah, which is weird. Oh god. I picked Bride of Chucky. And my tutor, she went, "Are you sure?"
No.
And I went,
"Not sure."
Yeah. She was like a Chucky movie. And I went, yeah. And I picked the scene starting with the couple invading the honeymoon suite.
Yeah.
right up to the doll sex scene. I picked that section. A+ that motherfucker. Because I figured out the formula, but at the same time, I was like, if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to talk about something that's going to be really uncomfortable and funny to read. And I'm going to have to pull it. One day I will find it and I'll put it on our blog. But I wrote about doll sex and got a top mark for it. So Bride of Chucky has a special place in my heart for terrifying me as a child and getting me some good score in AS film studies.
I love it. I love it.
Let's go to favourite moments. Let's wrap up this dream. Obviously, their deaths at the end are quite cool. Tiffany gets burnt up in the oven.
Yeah.
And then, get off my knife. And then Chucky's most simple death.
Yeah.
He gets shot in the heart. And Jesse's to blame. Do that what you will. But that's like straightforward, like shot in the heart. And the end line, I'll come back. I always come back! But dying is such a bitch. Boom. And then obviously the movie ends with a beautiful PS of, you probably should have worn a rubber, because Tiffany gives birth to a screaming infant doll. And then the movie cuts to credits and some new metal plays over the top. There's a great cover of Crazy in this movie as well. I can't remember who does it. It's that one that's like, I'm crazy. It's just... feeling. It's just really odd. And then halfway through it goes... and it just turns into a metal cover. Okay, so... it's true!
I think that's the thing.
It's true! It's true! Favourite moments from Bride of Chucky?
John Ritter's pinhead moment. just John Ritter. Anytime John Ritter's on screen.
Fair play. It's pretty great.
Good on him.
For me, it's either the scene at the beginning, not for the reasons you're thinking, where Tiffany's giving the lap dance to Damien, because at this point she knows Chucky's alive again, like he's moved.
Yeah.
So she's just waiting, like she sits him on Damien's chest and gives the lap dance, talks about like Chucky, like the way he treated the men, like he was very jealous, like if another man even looked at me, he just sat there the whole time going, like you know what's gonna happen. It's just so beautifully done where he says like, look at him, like the size, he talks about the size of him or whatever, and the head just turns and she stops dancing and just has this like giddy look on her face of like, yay! It ain't the size that counts, asshole. It's what you do with it. Then his whole body flips and he rips his piercing out. Ugh. But I think maybe best moment is Tiffany's montage when she makes herself over.
Yeah.
It's to Blondie. It's like, yes! Yes!
Yeah, it's very good.
This was the start of a beautiful friendship behind the scenes for like both Dorif and Tilly, but especially Don Mancini and Jennifer Tilly. They were clearly very much of the same mind. So going forward, he writes with her in mind and she dives into everything. The results are up for debate, as we will discuss tomorrow. But right now, tell us down below, what do you like about Bride of Chucky? What are your favourite Bride of Chucky moments? Did you join the franchise with this movie? Do you also have a giant crush on Jennifer Tilly? Let us know, and we'll see you next time.
Is that it?
Yeah, stop it there.